Hey my loves, welcome back to our channel. We are here again with Joe, myself, Zar, and we're talking all things Married at First Sight. This is season 13, episode 8. So we're literally, this will be the last time we're filming together for another month. Seeing as though Joe is going on tour again. He's doing another leg of his tour. So he'll be out of the house again. But we're back. And we're talking Married at First Sight. So let's get right on into it and talk. I just figured we would go through each couple from the top.
Yeah.
And then talk about their group dates. So let's start with Jose and Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jose and Rachel had a really nice week. It started with them going to the arbor. I don't know. What do they call those places?
I don't know.
Arboretum? No, that's not arboretum.
That's not it.
You know, no, a nursery. That's what they call them. That's what they call them. They went to the nursery, which was super cute, and they were picking out things, and obviously he had a plan. And what did you think about, she did make a point to say that she doesn't think he's controlling. She just think is the person with the plan. Like, do you think that that's controlling?
I don't think it was that he had a plan. I just think he had very strong opinions about what he wanted, but he didn't leave any room for her.
And I think that's a big thing.
Which I think happens a lot with them.
Yeah. Because I think you're absolutely right. Because I think my biggest thing or issue with Jose is that he wanted a wife so bad, but I don't know that he knew how to interact with one.
Yeah.
Which is probably why he didn't have one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I can see that.
Like, I think that he wanted one, but I don't know that he expected her to talk back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have
thoughts
feelings
and
emotions
and all that.
Opinions. It's like he didn't really. He was like, I'll set this thing up. He was prepared, right? Because he was ready, right? Like, you have this thing of like people, a population of people being ready for marriage, right? And then you have like the actual part of being in the marriage and being ready for the execution of it, right?
Yeah.
Being ready to be open to shifting and changing. You know, like when Mirla says, I'm not changing for anyone. Like, you're not ready for the execution of it. Like, you might have been ready to be somebody's wife, but if you come in with this like ironclad opinion of like, I'm not going to change for anybody, then you're not ready for the actual execution, the walking out of the actual marriage. And I think Jose falls into that thing of like,
I think
he was ready, he was prepared, he was like, I set my finances up, this is what I'm gonna do, this is my, and then a person appeared and he was like, he wants to like put this, he just wants to slide her into this like one size fits all. Yeah, this cookie cutter idea, and it's like, that's not what it is.
Which kind of feels like a common theme throughout this entire thing. And if you want to hear something funny, y'all. Right. So I usually drink before these, right? Like, not drink. I don't want to say I get like lushy, but I have a drink. But I can tell that I haven't had a drink. Not that I want one. I'm trying to, relax. But I just thought that was funny because I'm like, why can't I find my words right now? Like, what am I going through? And it's because I'm a lush, and the lush, it's driven. I'm driven by alcohol. But so I agree. I think that he really hasn't made any space for her, and I think that that's going to be the fight that they have. But I do like that she knows. She understands moments where this is just more important to him than it is to me. Yeah. So it can't be a fight. Like, it won't be a fight. Like, I don't have to fight about this. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. And it's really showing me that she's a little bit more socially and emotionally aware. Yes. You know what I mean? And I like that. But they go on. They have their, I guess it's like their housewarming. Yeah. See, I'm having a hard time finding my words. They have their housewarming, and their friends come over, and he brings out the board. That's literally how it happened in my mind.
Right. It didn't happen just like that. But I mean, because we're skipping over the part where like he brought up the finances thing and like how their conversation, and the whole time I'm thinking like, this is not a dinner party like conversation. Like at all, you know. And then to double down on it, he comes with his evidence. His whiteboard of everything, his list and all this other stuff like that. That's how.
I thought it was really weird though, because whomever, I didn't really catch the guy. You guys, I'm sure, will tell us who they were talking to. He was kind of giving them like, he was unimpressed, and I appreciated that, because with people like that who feel like this I get money, I do this, I do that, like all that kind of shit, like it's like really like, okay, good for you. Yeah. You're an adult. You know what I mean? And I think that he's going to have to lean into the fact, like the idea that living and experiencing things with your spouse is frivolous or not valuable is really a testament to how he knows nothing about being in a relationship.
But also how he just wasn't prepared for like the human part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
She might want to do
He's very iRobot.
She might want to do things differently than you do it. She might want a vacation more. She might want to whatever. It was like, it's almost like the fact that there was a human body there was shocking to him. He's like, oh, like she has different feelings than I. Like it's almost like he also thought she would think and move exactly as he does.
Well, he thought that they were just alike. Oh, we're just alike.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's so important to me that I have somebody who's just alike. You know what I mean? Or just like me. And it's like really like, But one of the biggest things I took away from that, when they gonna keep giving this stepmama. They gonna keep giving this stepmama time.
Ain't this the network of Honey Boo Boo?
Yes.
They gotta do it.
But can we talk about something controversial? Y'all might not want to talk about this, but I'm gonna say it. Do y'all think that the way she responded to her talking about him and the finances and feeling like they should have one account, which is crazy, and it's not crazy because, you know, you shouldn't let a man control anything. It's just crazy business wise.
Right.
Business account, tax account, savings account, personal account, joint account. I have like 6. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Like, you know, so it's like, I don't like, to me, I just feel like that's just bad business. Right. Like, you know what I mean? That's number one. But I thought that it was very good of his stepmama to say, don't let him control all that stuff. And I don't know how many, like, you know what I mean? Like, I hear what he's saying, but you need to be in control of some things too, and your finances is one of them. And I thought that was really dope, but it made me think, do regular mamas say that to girlfriends? Yeah, or, like, not girlfriends, to, you know.
To me, just in their whole interaction, like, it's very clear that, like, that's not her child.
It's just not her kid.
She like,
and high key, she's like, good riddance.
That's what she wanted to say. Yeah.
like, bitch, this is your problem now. Because I thought that was so candid of a response. Mm-hmm. And I like Jose. I like that he's invested.
Yeah, I like that part, that, like, you know that he was committed to the process before he ever walked in. I don't like that he doesn't seem like flexible to his situation.
But it's still early.
It's still early, but it seems like everything is like a shock. Like, oh, you didn't want to do things how I imagined that you would want to do them. Yeah. Like, all of these things are a shock to him, as if he wasn't marrying a stranger. That's a little bit annoying.
Which was weird. It just was given odd, but that's what they living in. I really want to talk about McKay. We're going to move on because they didn't really give much, but I don't mind that because that means that they're on the up and up, I feel like. I want to talk about Zach and Michaela, but I kind of want to save that because there's a lot of triggering behavior there, and I really want to dig in. So let's talk about Brett and Ryan, because they ain't have a lot to give either, but that was a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah. So this episode met a lot of the men's spouses. And I'm saying that politely because sexuality is a spectrum. And I really do believe that, but is it me? Or did y'all get like a feeling? Like it was a little too much tingly energy between the men and their male friends. And that could be a good thing. Like, don't get me wrong. That means that they probably locked in with their friend.
No, that's...
No?
No. It was like a little too much sugar in some tanks with some of these dudes and their friends. And it was a little weird.
Well, I don't know if it was yes. It was a lot of love, and it felt very much love on the spectrum.
Okay.
Was that right?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
It felt like love on the spectrum.
I'll go with
I don't know about y'all, but I was picking it up, and it was some heated moments, and I was like, "Did you hear that?" And Brett is one of them.
Questionable. The one guy told him he's gonna look sexy
for his wife. It was like, weird.
That is a little weird,
and
bro.
It's so funny because women don't say that to their girlfriend,
right?
Which
but
is
I've
not
never
weird.
had a homie of mine tell me, "You gonna look sexy for her."
Yeah, like
I'd be like,
very odd.
What did you just say? Like what?
But I'm feeling where Brett and Ryan is going. You can tell. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but as the season is progressing, they're getting a lot more comfortable in front of the camera.
Well, Ryan doesn't seem like he's getting comfortable
you don't
to
think?
me. Nah, like he still is very like, okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we was talking while we was watching. I'm thinking, is he high or tired or what? I don't know. Brett seems comfortable. I mean, Brett. Yeah, Brett seems comfortable and bubbly and more likable.
She does. She's like opening up.
She is. But Ryan is still giving like nothing to me.
And I like that they sat down and talked and they just told their truth to their friends. And he was just like, she does seem a little bit high anxiety, high stress, which is very true. But as we watch her and she's like blossoming, I feel like, I see why all the people around her, I'm beginning to see why they like her so much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's easy to see.
She got good energy and it's like, emanates.
Yeah, she seems like she's easy to be around and fun to be around.
Right. And I'm really excited to see where this goes with them because the more I see them together, the more I feel like they look good together.
Which also goes back to just my stance in the previous video or just multiple times that we've talked about the narrative thing. Like in the first couple episodes, her narrative was that she's missed like no fun, super anxiety, everything bothers her. And it's just like, that's not it. Like you can't, it's just like, that's not 100% who these people are. It's a blip on their entire spectrum of who they are that the show decided, let's just nail this in. And we see it happening with Mirla, right? Like, and I know we'll get there, but as an example, like we see it happening with Mirla, where it was constantly like this thing of like all they wanted to talk about was her finances, her being bougie, and all of this stuff. But then when they spoke about being with each other, they both were like, it's easy to be together with him and her. When they were in the kitchen talking to the family, they both spoke glowingly about their relationship, which means that this whole idea that 99% of the time they're talking about how she's bougie and how she wants to buy Louboutins every day, and it's like when you get more context you realize that's not it. When they had the conversation, she said, I shop maybe twice she seemed like she said twice a year or something. Three times a year, right? That goes completely against this whole narrative that she's just this shopping crazy, spending crazy woman
all the time,
right? Because when she said that, I'm like, we get Amazon packages daily, like literally, like. So I think that we just got to be careful, and I hate to be. We talked about me being like, the wet blanket on like certain stuff because I'm like, was that a production thing?
I know.
But we gotta. This is why I say this. We got to be conscious of these narratives because it's not. It's being more clear and more evident that it's not really what is carrying the relationship. It's not the elephant in the room as they would have you think it to be. Like it's really not.
However, first things first, I want to say, I loved when he pulled up on her and she was just.
I did too.
Loved it.
And you could see
that she loved it.
She loved it too, and she was excited. These are not the things that they show us. You know what I mean? Like she's into him.
I thought even the way she walked up to him, she touched him. You could tell she's into him. Yeah. I really want her to kiss him. Mm-hmm. And I really just do, and I don't want to pressure any woman to do anything that they don't want to do, except for Mirla. Like, I really am pressuring her at this point. I think that, I think she's not doing herself a disservice by not seeing if it's a real spark. Because sometimes that kind of level of intimacy, like a kiss, you'll have a moment like, yes.
Part of me is starting to think.
She don't want to have that moment.
No. Part of me is starting to think that this is a self implemented buffer,
like a preservation
to protect her from whatever she's done in the past. Maybe she was too quick to fall in love or too quick to jump into bed or whatever, and she got her heart broke doing it. And part of me thinks that that's what this is. Like, let me slow down, because what started me on that thought process was, I think it was Bao who said something like, that's what she does. Where we think that Bao is just like this cold, like calculated thing, but she alluded at one point that she falls in love easily or something like that, or something like that. Brett said that too. Yeah, maybe it was Brett, and so Brett. It was like a thing of like, I've done this in the past, rush into sex, which I can get that.
Like that, which I understand,
which is a mature, an emotionally mature thing to do. If you know that you understand what I'm saying? I agree. If you know, like, I've done this in the past. Let me even overcompensate so I don't mess this up again doing the same thing.
I think where my is coming from is, but you got married at first sight.
No. I get it.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I get it. But I want to talk about this. I think that I really want to dig in. My however was he keeps bringing up the bougie thing.
Bro.
He keeps bringing up how much clothes she has. He keeps, and it's giving brokey. It's giving you're broke, you're mad, and let us get into the broke, because I'm about to get there. I know y'all feel it in the pits of your stomach, because I do too. I'm about to come up on the secondhand embarrassment I had the whole time. Oh. And full disclosure,
oh God,
I was inebriated when I watched this. I mean, like, I was on another planet. So it's like, literally, I'm watching it, and I had the worst case of secondhand embarrassment I probably have ever had in my entire life. And I get it all the time. Like, I get secondhand embarrassment. This mother, imagine being a motherfucker who want to talk about my money, and you ain't got no money.
Or
in America, right. he did the Kevin Hart. Well, I gotta go to my savings, pull it out my savings. It's gonna take 3 weeks.
It was so confusing because at first I thought like, oh, he got offshore accounts.
But wait a minute, let's talk. Let's set the scene, babe.
Well, they started talking about the finances and stuff, and then he said one of my savings is in Colombia, and so I said, oh, he got offshore accounts.
This motherfucking ass, did he have offshore accounts? I about died. I was like, wait, what?
I'm like, oh, he moving. What is he moving?
Let me tell you something. He got a 401k.
He said his savings
is wrapped up in his 401k,
which wasn't alarming, right? Which makes sense. I'm like, okay, but then he got into the the account is in Colombia, and I said I'm uncomfortable.
It was so.
It was very much Mika in whatchamacallit from a couple seasons ago.
That's
what it was giving me.
That's why
when
I got secondhand embarrassment.
So I got the one job, and then I leave that job and go to my other job.
We know he a firefighter for real, because we saw him pull up in the red.
He definitely is a firefighter.
So he's definitely a firefighter.
Right.
However, you really don't have a leg to stand on if you don't have control of your finances either. And I know that had to kind of be like a little bit of a blow to her, because she just showed her accounts. And this is why I say, ask Mother Jumper straight up, what's your credit score? What you doing? Because you can tell by a response of a Mother Jumper if it's good or not. Because if they say, why? What you mean, why? It's a 715. Well, you know what I mean? It's a 750. It's this or that, whatever the case may be. All those things, like, you want to be like.
Well, most people are going to say why, because they're gonna,
but I think if you're really dating, and you want to be.
You mean deep into the relationship?
No, I mean like the third date. Oh, I want to know how you handle that. It's not, and I don't think that you should have to wait that long. I think people will sit up in your life, suck all your time up. Okay,
that's true, but there's a nice medium in there. We got to find a medium, because like 3 days.
You said 3 days ain't enough.
It's alarming, like especially where you are. Depending on where you are geographically.
And I'm not saying, I need to know down to the penny how much you got.
I get it.
You got good credit. Like, what are y'all talking about on dates? Maybe I haven't dated in a while. We'll chalk it up to that. So it's like, but I don't care. I want to know, because people will really have you out here. They will talk shit about you. He literally been talking all this mess about this child.
But my other question is too, going back to the production thing. Like, one, it's annoying if every time he makes a joke, she's the butt of his joke. But also, I think that if this was happening at that type of rate, she would be more annoyed by it. So it also makes me think like this is not happening the way that they are showing it is happening.
You don't feel
you understand what I'm saying? Because she wasn't even bothered by it in the video. I mean, in the scene where they were in the kitchen.
I thought she was visibly bothered.
She was. I
felt like she was visibly bothered.
In my mind. In my mind, and this might be an experience thing because of the person that I'm married to. I would have thought the way that they show her being the butt of his joke, the way that we see it, I would have thought she would have been way more upset than she looked. She was just like eating, like she didn't even say nothing.
But I think that is also a telltale sign, right? Because I'm not saying anything because I don't want to fuel this. I don't want this conversation to go any further. This is me deading it by not even responding to the behavior. And I think that is a thing as well. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like she's also an introvert, what do they call it? A self-proclaimed introvert. And I think that has a lot to do with how she responded as well. But when I looked at her, if she was my girlfriend, the angle the girlfriend was looking at was like,
yeah.
She look at her dead in her face. You know how it is when you see your girlfriend or your mother acting up and your girlfriend look you in your eyes and you be like, yeah, I see it. That's what I think was happening. I just think
I don't think
she was hella angry.
I just think if this thing is happening like all the time, we're kind of perceiving it to be, they wouldn't be as good as they seem that they are. But they seem like they good.
I agree with that, but I also feel like it's too much for TV.
It is.
So it's like,
too much. I agree with that.
I think okay, the first couple times, you know what I mean. But the real tea, what you should be saying is like, my wife is fly as hell. And ain't afraid to like make sure she is that way. And I like that she pretty. And I like say it that way. Like I think that to keep on bringing it up like she bougie, like the hell? As opposed to what? Why do y'all want people to have poor ass mindsets? Why do it bother you so deeply?
But as opposed to dating like a girl who is not like girly.
But not even me, but like, that doesn't want the best.
Well, that's just a refined woman. And that's what I asked. That was my question to y'all when everybody was piling on Mirla. And I said,
true. And I said,
what women are y'all dating? Because that seems pretty normal to me. You know
and
what I mean?
I'm taking it back because now I'm feeling like it was production.
That's what I was saying.
And I fell victim to that. Because the more I watch her, the more I realize she's just a woman with a job.
That's y'all. I said this.
You did say it, babe. You did.
I said that. She just a fly.
She was giving me a little too much energy, though, in the beginning.
It's just kind of like, that's not... If you dating a certain level of a woman, Mirla is pretty base. It's pretty common.
Yeah.
Like, nothing she did made me like, feel like, what's going on here? Like, oh, she spent a lot of money on her clothes and her hair, and she flies, she want to go on trips.
Yeah.
That's just...
But if you broke... If you broke, that'll be something that'll tickle your demons.
Yeah.
If you broke, because that's really the realty. The reason why you keep bringing it up is because you can never sustain her lifestyle.
Yeah, because I'm like, what kind of women is y'all dating? Y'all dating the type that is satisfied with a trip to the McDonald's or the American Fine Dining Institution, or Chili's,
exactly.
and Applebee's. Because I was not surprised by nothing that she threw out in the first couple of episodes.
And rightfully so. And she works hard and she saves. Listen, I'm shutting my mouth about Miss Mirla, and I'm going to tell you this, sis. I apologize.
And that's good.
I apologize. I really do. Because I think they giving her a hard way to go, or he is, and I ain't with it. And his friend. How did this friend get back?
The friend is just so weird and awkward and creepy. He gonna slide in when you showering. If y'all friends, you knew that they not showering together. They not sleeping together. They not even kissing together. So,
but also felt like a relationship on the spectrum.
Right. So for you to slide that in there, like, when y'all like, why are you constantly you're always bringing up the finance thing, which is weird to me.
Which is broke.
Which is another thing that like I would have to step in as a man and be like, stop talking to her about that. Like, that's really none of your business. You know what I mean?
But I think you would be annoyed by the, like, oh, y'all taking showers together and all that.
I would. Don't talk to my woman about nothing intimate and nothing where she in no scenario where she ain't got no clothes on. You shouldn't even be thinking about that.
Right. Which he is. You can tell by his energy. He is like...
He just gives me predator.
He really does.
It's weird.
And I hate to do that. Sorry, black man. Sorry to that black man. But sorry to that man. But he is giving predator. Very much. Very much. And I'm not feeling it at all. And the lady that was there was a drunk. And I'm not sure, but she was giving very lush. Yeah, from a lush.
It was a little weird.
She was giving lush adjacent. Okay. It was a lot of weird. It was a lot of weird. But let's move on to... Okay, so do you want to talk about the guys meeting up? Or you want to talk about Bow and Johnny?
I mean, let's talk.
They kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
The guys meet up and they are all talking. I really enjoy seeing the guys meet up because you could tell they really need it.
Yeah. I mean, he needed it. I mean, Johnny needed it.
Johnny,
more than anybody else.
Johnny was hanging on. First of all, Johnny showed up to the thing, y'all, with a yellow jacket,
Bubble John,
with the arms rolled up to his elbows.
Because he was high.
Are you hot? Are you cold?
Yeah,
like what?
Let's figure this
what
out.
Is going on? Like
on this spectrum.
It really gave. I'm about to have a mental break.
Yeah, no, honestly,
it was really the beginning. That's when I started to see it, like bubbling or whatever the case may be. They sit down and they all start to speak about their marriage and what they're seeing and things like that. And I felt like the question that really kind of that Brett asked was like, "How are you feeling in your marriages? Like, how's it going?" And Johnny brings up that he feels like, first of all, it's quiet. Mm-hmm. I wanna acknowledge the pregnant pause that we felt, okay? Because Zach ain't have shit to say because he like, I ain't even feeling this heifer right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't even say that whole name. Yeah. And Johnny kind of felt like the same way, and I kind of felt like Zach was so happy that somebody was miserable too, which is really sad.
Yeah, he needed a break. And Johnny just seemed like he was on the edge.
On the verge of tears.
Yeah. Johnny seemed to me like he was contemplating whether he was going to make it to the next shoot. Like whenever they had
the next scene.
Literally. Like, where we got to go next? Oh, we got to shoot it. We got to shoot at the bar. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to the bar.
Be able to do it. Yeah. And it was like really fascinating to see because you get to see how these guys are going through these motions, and what I appreciated about it. I'm making jokes about how he was really emotional, but it was kind of cool to see because people really do be going through shit like that, yo. Yeah. I swear, the weekend before we got married, we had this whole weekend planned. I don't remember half of it because the whole time my anxiety was so high. I couldn't stop crying. It was like I didn't have cold feet, but I was realizing like, all right, bitch, you making a real big decision. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is this what we doing? Like, are we sure? Like, and I know that sounds bad, but it maybe not are we sure, but it just, you go through all the questions. You know what I mean? And so I felt like I understood in the moment what he was thinking, because when he was in that joint crying, like, oh my God. Like, when I tell you I was thinking that shit, like,
but he was, his thing was more, he had more emotions to me that were in relation to like Bow and feeling sad that he might be disappointing Bow. Which
and his family.
He felt like he had a weight on him, and it's funny because I had just had a conversation with one of our friends about this very same thing.
You didn't tell me that.
With because it's a lot. We'll get to that. But,
okay, because I'm feeling away.
It was a similar conversation where they felt like they were bogged down by the emotion of making a decision that they felt was best for them versus making a decision that would hurt a person that they loved. And that's where I felt Johnny was at. He had this myriad of emotions, and he was sad by so many different aspects of these emotions. And I really understood where we talked about it while we was watching it. And I didn't, and it's funny, sorry. It's carpet. And it was funny because I wanted to tell you who I'm talking, the situation that I'm talking about.
But you knew I was too different.
That part, and I didn't want to get off script from while we was watching, because I would have had to pause, and it would have been a whole thing.
I was talking the whole time.
Yeah, she was.
It was bad.
Yeah. So in that moment, I felt like I really understood where Johnny was because I just had this conversation.
Yeah. But I feel like, I'm curious to see where Bow and Johnny go from here. we do get a kind of glimpse, and it seems like they're on the up and up. But I thought I think the nerves are normal. I think that he's in a brand new situation that requires a level of commitment that he's never had to give anyone.
Oh, absolutely. Because he even admitted, like, I'm used to, when things get rough, I'm used to just skating.
Yeah. And I think that that's why this will be good for him. And his personality. I think the same thing for Zach. I think that Zach has a fight or flight.
Same thing, yeah.
And as much as I want to condemn Michaela, I feel a large part of their issue is that he is used to things his way as well. Mm-hmm. And people in adversity for some people is a lot and hard to deal with. And then on the other hand, I feel like red flags are red flags.
Red flags are red too. And guess what? Two things can be true. Right? that
was not funny.
Well, I thought it tickled me. Okay. Two things can be true. That red flags can be red flags, but also you could be adding to a tumultuous situation by going into your old bad habits, right? Of like feeling like, you know what, this is a rocky situation, I'm out. You know what I mean? Right. And you're not gonna succeed, especially in a new space, until you are open to letting go of some of these old ways and these old behaviors and being, again, going back to the whole, I'm not changing for nobody, this is what I do. You know what I mean? Yeah. Until you are able to let go of some of your old traits and be open to what works best for the team, what works best for her and me. And so I think that's where Zach's situation and Michaela's situation is kind of tricky, because if you're not down to be flexible and compromise, guess what? You bound to Drizzy. I got it in. Thank you for somebody who reminded me that I didn't get it in the last time, and I got it in this time.
How dare y'all? Listen, I cannot. But the thing I love about Bao and Johnny is I love Bao so much. I know I talked a lot about her not washing herself, and that's still a thing. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, she says she washes once a day. She don't. But
not if you going.
She says she don't make it a priority.
If you're going to the gym every day, washing once a day is not enough. Cool.
But I digress. What I'm getting at is that when she speaks about the relationship, it is one of the greatest things to see, because you could tell how clear she thinks based on how she speaks about it. It's scary because it's almost no emotion. She's like logically telling you every moment of it. When she was talking to her friend and just saying, like, you know, it's crazy that I'm dating him, and that I'm with him now and we're married, and like I think that he would be the one to leave the relationship. It wouldn't be me. And I felt like that's a big thing to say too. Yeah,
because she's like, I'm in it.
Right, and I appreciate that about her. I really, really do. And and one of the funniest things to me, y'all, and I don't know, I was, you know, living a full life last night, but one of the funniest things to me is when he went and had the conversation with her in bed, and then ended that shit in the middle of the conversation. Well, we gonna go to sleep. Left her hanging like, this is how I'm feeling. I'm not feeling great about it. I'm anxious, and I don't know what we're gonna do. But I'm gonna go to bed. That's why she
told the cameras, we talked, but we got some more talking to do.
But with the face that she said it, I said, I want to be her when I grow up.
No, that's scary.
I want to be her when I grow up. I just thought it was so dope. Like, she was like, but we have more time. It was so cold. And I appreciate it.
But I also appreciate how she's like really in it. Like, she is
1,000%.
Like, all right, well, we gonna have to figure this out.
1,000%. I want to jump back to the guys' meeting because I really want to talk about how I thought it was funny that Zach thought that, Zach knows that Michaela was going to be upset because they are having sex or whatever the case may be, which is weird to me because they had sex on like the third day. So apparently that's a part of your spirit, which is fine, but it's like...
Yeah, like it was weird. That whole thing was weird because I'm like, they were the first couple to have sex and then they told us that they had sex.
It was weird. It was given very odd, but whatever. The other thing I thought was odd was, why does Jose feel like he has to rub it in everybody's face that they can't keep their hands off each other?
I think it's like a small man thing. Jose has like a severe small man complex to me. He got to tell you that he got a degree. He got to tell you that he got 2 properties. He got to show you his board. He got to do all of these things. And I think that he has to constantly reaffirm himself publicly to other people to make him feel like he belongs or something. I don't know.
It's just the weirdest friggin' thing to me, but I can't lie. I still like him. And I thought the moment that him and Johnny had in the bathroom where Johnny just gave him a hug and everything like that. It's like those moments is like, I love those bro moments. I think men should be vulnerable, and I think that they should have spaces where they could talk to people about how they actually feeling. Because when he couldn't say he was attracted to that woman, and then gonna say, personality wise, I don't believe that. I believe
you don't believe that he's.
I don't believe it's just her personality he's not attracted to.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he was being nice by saying that.
Yeah.
I think that he's just not attracted to her. You know what I mean? And he's having a hard time. And I'm really curious about the aesthetic that he is.
I think that thing of...
Because she's a beautiful girl. I think she's pretty.
And I think whatever that turned him off that he talked about last episode is much bigger to him than he's letting on.
1,000%.
Because I think that if he was just going off of physicality, I think he would be into her, or would say that he was much more into her than he said. But I think that whatever.
Oh, the personality thing plays a part.
Yeah, and her doing whatever little kitty thing that she did that turned him off. Yeah. I think that did a lot more damage than he's letting on, and now he sees her in this light that he's like, I don't even know if I'm with it anymore.
But that's why I said the cookie cutter thing is the theme, running theme throughout this, because I think he has romantic views of marriage as well. So he says, and marriage is romantic, and being in love is romantic, and there's certain parts of that. But the day to day is kind of like not as romantic. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of.
But it's different from. That's different from somebody constantly doing something that is a huge turnoff to you.
That I don't know what that's like.
That's what I'm saying. I don't either.
I've never experienced that. So it's like
that's different. And I think that and unless you in there, you know what I'm saying, unless you're in that position, it's hard to say like which way
Have you ever been in a space like that? Like where you were dating someone and you liked them as a whole, but they did certain things that you were just like, I cannot get with this.
Yeah, like I was dating a girl. She was like a couple years younger than I was, and it showed itself. Like at times, she would do this like immaturity thing where she would like it was almost like a child, like when a child is not getting enough attention. But like in a physical space, like she would do this like thing where she would like, it would be like, what's wrong? And then it'd be like it was like it was weird. It was like that. Acting? It was So maybe that's the closest thing I can kind of relate to Johnny about.
But was that something where you were like
super turn off? Like, please leave.
Okay, that's my question.
Yes.
That's my question.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, because people do things that get on your nerves. Like, don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's
but it's different when it's like a complete turn off. Like, now it feels like I'm dating a 16-year-old.
Like, I can't you need do this. To go. It's making my skin crawl.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I get that. So I think... And I've never experienced that, but I do think... Somebody probably felt that way about me. But I never... I'm coffee. But it's like, you know what I mean? I'm a acquired taste. But I do think that like it's something too feeling like ooh, like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
and it's like if that's how I make you feel, like that's I don't even know. Like if I don't even know what I would tell a friend. Like
you would cry. I mean? You would fucking cry.
Yeah,
you would cry just like he did. You would be like, yo, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And I think that's an honest
and it's your wife, so that's the other thing, right? Like I would have never married that girl, right? But also, this is your wife. You married to this woman, and she's doing something that is a legit. Like Zara might get on my nerves, like I get on her nerves. But even when she get on my nerves, like if she were to, I would still be like kind of down, like you know what I mean? Like all right, like
whatever.
You know what I mean?
That's not true because when he mad, he do not.
No. I said, but I chose my words. I said nerves.
That's true.
I ain't say mad. If I'm mad, I'm in my bag. Like you can go off somewhere. But if you just get on my nerves, but then you come through with them shorts that you had on yesterday, I'm like, yes, still down.
I cannot. So that's a life. But I get where Johnny's coming from. If you still don't have those feelings, it is kind of like hard to like navigate. But I do think he has to stay the course. But I'm still optimistic about them, to be honest.
I am too, because he didn't leave.
Right. And
let me tell y'all something. We met this old couple.
Oh my God.
And
yes.
I think, if I'm getting it wrong, correct me, but I think they said, I don't know, we asked them or they said, what's the key to a long-lasting marriage?
We asked them.
And they said, don't leave.
That's literally all they didn't say communication. They didn't say none of that. They said, don't leave.
That's it. Like, whatever Bow and Johnny going through, guess what Johnny didn't do? He didn't leave.
This time. And that to me is growth. And that to me is growth.
But that's what matters.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, we can go through all of this stuff, but if you still here, you got a chance. That's just at the bottom line. Like, so I would give that, and I would give that same nugget to anybody else. Like, don't leave. Just don't leave.
There you go. And I agree. I think that's where it's at, especially for them to be so premature. We're talking about these people only been dating for like, what, 9 days? Mm-hmm. Like, y'all gotta really slow the fuck down if y'all really thinking about being done with a mother jumper. You don't even know them.
Yeah.
So, talking about don't even know them, let's get on to Michaela and Zach. This is such a fascinating story to me. So, she is a fascinating human being, and I wanted to leave her for the end because there's so many toxic moments in this. And I'm scared for Zach. I know we use this loosely, but she has very deep toxic traits.
Yeah.
And for them to rear their head so early that's a red flag.
Not only is that a red flag, but so early and so with so little like spark to even light the fire. Like, they didn't even really, and that was part of Zach's issue.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even really. It wasn't like they had like a big deep blow up like about these like philosophical values or you know what I mean, or like he did something crazy and then like it was like
misunderstanding.
That was it. Like, nothing really even happened yet.
Which makes me think, and somebody said this in the comment too, it feels so much deeper. Like, it feels deeper, and I don't know if that's because they created that kind of environment for it to feel that way, or she created an environment. But on the outside of looking in, we're all thinking this ain't that fucking deep,
right?
You know what I mean? But to see how it grew and festered is so disgusting to me. So he speaks to his friend Jerron, also feeling very on the spectrum. I don't want to just feeling like love on the spectrum to me. I don't know. But I do like that they have their companions and everything like that, because I ain't going to reduce men to every time they around another man that it's a love on the spectrum. It don't got to be that way. But it was feeling a little tingly. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying all that to say, Jerron is very in tune with his feelings and in tune with Zach's feelings, and I appreciated that because I think that he imparted a lot of wisdom, even telling Zach, like, I still think you got to give this a chance. Like, don't be too premature to like be annoyed with things and let things go. Now, let's set up the scene. They have the argument. They talk to Pastor Cal. It wasn't reconciled after Pastor Cal. They have another conversation. Zach is under the impression it is reconciled. That whatever issue that they had, they can move on. Which in the moment with Pastor Cal, how was that not resolved?
That's what I was saying. Like, and I think that's what made it. That's what made the calling off the housewarming thing even bigger, because Zach is like, we were good, like we wasn't even having an argument, and then you just was like, nah, I'm down, I'm not coming.
And she could feel like she didn't get all her feelings. I don't even think I don't believe she felt like she sometimes, and I'm about to go there with y'all, people want to hold you hostage via their feelings, but the conduit will be, oh, my feelings, and they will hold you hostage, and then here you are in this space with this person having all these bad feelings and everything like that, just because what they're trying to do is train you to live in that space so they can manipulate your behavior after that.
Yeah, and
that's what the fuck she trying to do.
And it's funny because she actually kind of alluded to that.
She's manipulative. She been manipulating her sisters all their motherfucking life, and that's why they sat up in his face and told him that they need to be sure that she could be safe with him when she's the terrorist.
Right.
And that really, really burns my beans. It really burns me.
Which is exactly why I don't like that type of speech anyway.
Because your person is hell on wheels.
You don't like what? And you gonna tell him, oh, we gotta know we can trust you. Like
she is in here beating up on Clorox wipes bottles. You need to trust me. We can't even trust her with the wipes. And do you know how hard it is to come across Clorox wipes? Like it's the hard, nerve.
Even
the
still.
nerve.
Yes, a year later.
And I know he saw that and said, see?
He absolutely did. 1,000%.
But then when they played it back in Unfiltered, the scariness is that she saw no. It was no. Yeah, it was nothing like, on her face.
It's a 3. Like, I was just like. I'm like, what's a 4?
I'm like, you are so out of line that it is so very scary. And
which is why he, not to cut you off, why he, when they was having a conversation in the kitchen and he was like leaning on the fridge and was kind of just like not with it, like, yeah, I need to leave, whatever.
He was not with it.
That's why, I think that's why, because he's in that space of like, this whole thing is way far past okay. Like the whole thing, and it's such a red flag that he's nervous. But like I say, I'm scared for him. He's scared for himself. It's evident that he is.
He didn't even want to stay in the apartment with the bitch.
Yeah.
Because he probably thought she gonna come in here in the middle
of
the night.
She's gonna murder me. Like I'm gonna die.
And and I hate to say this because I don't think she got an attitude. I don't think she had the attitude problem. I think that she severely has no idea how to deal with her anger and to deal with how people disappointment. And I think that when you're in a relationship, and it also shows what it shows to me is that y'all do not be in relationships. A lot of y'all do not be in relationships. I don't know who y'all around, how y'all get to the stage where y'all fucking and sucking, but a lot of y'all are not in relationships. And it's very clear because the way you socially move through situations with another human being when their feelings are involved, it's giving very much like it's my world and you a squirrel. You know what I mean? And that's unfair. And I felt, and she did say that.
She did say that.
But I think that she said that and it was rehearsed because somebody else told her that same bullshit.
They had to. Because she did say that.
Same bullshit.
Yeah. She did. She said something to the effect, talking about the manipulation part too, and the part where she was acting and she has to get used to taking into account another person's feelings now. So that you
got 5 sisters, or however many Hercules singers it is, and then you gonna be sitting up here talking about how the hell you not aware of somebody else's feelings? Yeah. Like, girl, if you don't get the out of here, how do you? One of the things I always it's giving. I'm a narcissist. It's all about me. It's always been about me. Everybody makes it about me, and it's like I want to believe that she feels the way that she says she does. I just feel like in other settings, she's like, even the way she was listening when she was talking to Jerron, she knew, you could tell she was nervous about it. Like she knew that Zach had spoken to him.
Yeah.
And Jerron was taking it home with her, like, no, you need to be more conscious of your actions and everything like that. And which I kind of thought was out of line.
Yeah. I kind of think that she's more so embarrassed than I think if this wasn't happening on TV, she would feel a different way about it. I feel like this is happening because the Hercules sisters all said Hurricane K. So, which means this is Hurricane K.
1,000%.
It's normal and it's acceptable in our circle, and we just pat her on the back
and give it a name like it's cute.
We give it a name.
This is not cute.
And I think that because this is happening now on a much broader stage, that's bringing about the responses that you talking about that feels rehearsed.
Okay, that makes sense. But even when she sat down with the girls, you can tell that the girls are so used to being around each other and not Michaela. Yeah. She felt like an outsider, and I don't know if she did that on purpose.
She hasn't been around though. They was on the honeymoon. They all hung up together. Yep. She wasn't there.
Yep.
And then when they got back, she left after he left the house to go walk the dogs or whatever the hell. She left, and so she wasn't around then either.
So it feels very isolated. I feel like, and even her not feeling comfortable sharing what they're arguing about and everything. Mm-hmm. And Bao was able to do that. It kind of felt like. Y'all not gonna like what I'm about to say because at one side of me feels like if you're married, your marriage is your business. Period. The other part of me is like you're in such a unique space around people who are going through the same exact thing as you, and I don't think there would be anybody better than to provide you with advice than these women.
Yeah.
And I think that's a missed opportunity. The problem is that you didn't want to get told you were wrong. And that was a missed opportunity.
But I also understand her saying,
I'm still in it.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
I understood that. And I think that, like, you know, but I do feel like when they said they were talking about sex and she was like, I just don't think that's anybody's business. I just kind of was like,
you told the camera,
weirdo, bro.
So it's not nobody, the 6 people that you're around, it's not their business. But on a camera, knowing that this is being broadcast to millions of viewers, you said, and she was with him when they told us that they had sex on the not the honeymoon. When was this?
It was like the day before the honeymoon,
or the day before the honeymoon, like before they left or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, like she was there. They were smiling about. They was laying in bed. It was the after sex face moment.
Yes. I just feel like, you know, let's take it a step further. They Zach also has some issues, and I don't want to just pound on Mirla. I don't want to just pound on Michaela. Zach don't want an apology.
No, he don't.
He don't want her.
Yeah, he kind of checked out. He's done. He done with this. Like,
and he talking to everybody like
I'm contracted. You know I'm here because I'm contractual. I can't talk.
It's okay, B. It's okay. Contractually. And
contractually obligated to be here. And that's where he at. It was very evident. Like, he was just like, I don't even. Him and Bao is kind of in the same space right now. I mean, Johnny. Sorry.
But I think that even the way he was talking to her friends was like, get your girl. I'm done with her. She don't know how to act. Like, she don't know what she doing. We ain't ever getting the kids.
Yeah, he was.
And also, please tell me about that young woman. First of all, I really want to go in on these young girls.
The girl in the purple? Or was it blue?
It was blue. Whatever it was pleather and it was wrong.
The whole thing was wrong. The wig was wrong. The sneaker, the shoe,
this ain't about
the
her,
shoe sneaker sandals thing that was
made me
wrong.
uncomfortable.
It was a lot of wrong stuff,
and I don't like it. Yeah. I ain't like it. I ain't like it at all. And I felt like, and the other friend looked like she was on Party of Five or some shit like that. Mm. Like she Ellen DeGeneres in the 90s. Like, I don't know. It just was not. None of it was given. Yeah. None of it was given. And I kind of, and the whole conversation was weird too. And I also think it's like hard to talk to people when you're married. I thought one of the greatest things about like Jose and Rachel's interaction at their home warming and Brett and Ryan is that you get to see couples and you get to be around actual married people and you get the value of that. Right. So you see how young and immature. Because
you can't talk to me about the stripes and stresses of home ownership if you don't own a home. And I feel like bringing in these single women to tell me how to be a married man is not going to jive with me. I don't want to. We ain't really got. We can have a little surface kind of conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
But y'all not about to sit and give me no advice about
the whole thing.
It was just weird.
What was more weird was when he told Michaela, the conversation they had in the kitchen when he was talking to Michaela, and was like, it's more stuff I want to say, but I can't even go there right now. I really genuinely believe he was ready to let the shit go. And you got to know how your spouse argues, and that takes time. Mm-hmm. Let's be clear. But I think he might be one of those people that does get over things easily. You just got to let it go. Yeah. Like, you just got to end the conversation, and he could come back. But when she kept it going by canceling the housewarming, which to me is so childish and so toxic. I want y'all to look out for this trait. When somebody does that, when you have plans with somebody and y'all have a tiff and y'all think y'all getting over it and you're in a long-term relationship and they go and they make decisions like that after y'all made a decision to do something, that is them trying to control your feelings.
I think that was her throwing a tantrum.
Period. That's all. It all falls under
just more
adult
of
temper.
It was more of Hurricane K.
But I'm saying that's a severe toxic
I'm taking
trait.
all this shit with me.
Because yes, and you got to realize that people teach you how to treat them, but they also are like managing you. Believe it or not. So like they do little things that make sure that like, okay, I want you to do a little bit of this, so I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna see how you react to that. And I think that's what she's doing, and she's trying to make an environment like, oh, they gave me somebody just as headstrong as me. What the fuck? He's a goddamn grown ass man.
Yeah, I don't even
what
know
word? What do that even mean?
I don't know.
What do that even mean? The whole thing, and I don't want you guys to feel like I'm piling on her. I'm really talking to the mental health aspect of this and what that looks like and how uncomfortable it was.
Because to your point about it being deeper and them saying it in the comments, like, it is deeper. It is much deeper, and this is something that she needs to dig into with her own personal, you know what I'm saying, counselor or whatever. Right. And I think that is a big part of it, and I think that's a part of the that's an aspect that we don't see on the show that should be implemented. Like, they should be also having these one-on-one sessions with maybe a Pastor Cal or Dr. Pepper or whatever.
They need
going through these things of like, this is what I'm going through personally that could be causing me to do some toxic shit in my own relationship.
Did Pastor Cal allude to that though? Like, I talked to y'all separately. He alluded to the fact that they, chit chat with
they don't do that enough, I think.
It ain't. I think she
past
needs
seasons as well.
She needs intense.
Yeah.
Like in like drugs.
Yeah.
And my friends hate when I say that. But it's a lot of undiagnosed black folks, and I mean this respectfully. It's a lot of undiagnosed people, but it's a lot of undiagnosed black people. We really gotta, some of us need Klonopin.
Yeah.
Okay? Or a little bit of Xanax. Or a little cocktail. Just a little itty bitty cocktail. And it's like, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not, prescribing her anything, but I'm close. Okay? Yeah. I'm close to writing a script for the hoe. So that's where we at with it. I don't have nothing else to give. Do you?
I do think that they need to stop bringing on these friends and pushing them to give advice. You know what I'm saying?
Or ask stupid questions.
Yeah, or ask stupid questions. Or, you know what I'm saying? But it's really the advice thing for me. Like, the one guy, you could tell that he really had nothing to say. So he told him, well, you know what?
Bow's
friend.
Yeah.
You know what? She just got a lot of love to give. So you just got to make sure that you get it all.
He literally said
that. The fuck are you talking about?
And that's the title of this video. Because it don't make nobody's goddamn sense.
And it's so much of that. And whenever they do these scenes where everybody meeting their friends and stuff, it's a lot of that. Like, a lot of elevator bullshit talk. And it really annoys me because I hate elevator talk.
It makes me uncomfortable because nobody talks to their friends like that in real life.
Period.
Or their spouse's friends. Like, why don't y'all just show them shooting the shit? Maybe
talk to me about something else, bro.
Or just
don't talk to me about her, because it's clear that you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Or give them the question and say, ask this in your voice. These people are literally like, well, what do you think about...
Right. Yeah, it's annoying. They got to stop it. They got to.
But you know who didn't do that? The bald-headed bull. He was just rattling the jaws off like he felt like it.
Yeah, he was.
But we done. Okay, we gotta go eat. Our sister just made some short ribs. All right, so bust down, subscribe to this channel. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later. Peace.